I try to coach people on, this is from my experience in e-commerce. When you're in a relationship business, affiliates are not good for long-term adding value to your clients, because what it does is, in effect, you're giving your customer away.
It also enlightened me. I didn't know any of that, and I don't do a ton with affiliates, but it's like a perceptual way to have a good win-win relationship with the people you like to play with, right? That's what people perceive. But what you said to me was like really, really important, because for me, Staywell's the community. Beyond the Pills is the community. We want people to engage, not just listen to this content, but move and do things. Welcome back, everybody, to this episode of Beyond the Pills. I'm Josh Rimany, your host, pharmacist turned healer. And today, I want to tell you something I've never said on this show before. I've been building the Staywell Institute for a while now. It's been a vision for a place where healing isn't just a conversation. It's not a clinic. It's a lifestyle that gets supported at every turn. And one of the things that's always bothered me as a pharmacist, as a functional medicine practitioner, as someone who's watched patients, hundreds of patients walk out the door with a protocol and come back 3 months later, having bought the wrong thing from the wrong source, is this: the supplement world is a mess. And patients are navigating it alone. They're asking Dr. Google, they're asking Amazon, and now they're asking AI, which will answer them confidently and route their purchase before you probably even know that they had a question. Ancient wisdom, the medicine man of old, was never out of the loop on what his community was consuming. He was woven into the fabric of daily life, and that's the model I've been trying to rebuild. And today I'm sharing with you how we're actually doing it. The Staywell Marketplace is live, and I want to tell you why we built it, how we built it, and the man whose own healing journey is a part of why it exists. So a while back, I met a guy who's changed the trajectory of something we've been building here. I was directly in the middle of launching our community app at Go Beyond the Pills, excited about it, momentum was building, and then I had a conversation with Mr. Jon Armstrong that made me stop, because what he had built answered a question I didn't even know I was asking. Jon is the CEO and founder of Get Healthy. His background is e-commerce and marketing analytics. He literally built his first platform with Amazon as a customer. He knows what good buying experiences look like, and then he became a patient. He walked into a routine physical, came out with leaky gut, gluten intolerance, and thyroid cancer all at once. And as he tried to navigate his own healing protocol, he experienced the chaos firsthand, bouncing between websites, third-party Amazon listings, nobody holding the thread together, and no practitioner in the loop on what he was actually taking and buying. So he built the thing he needed in entrepreneurial spirit. And when I found it, I paused, because what I was building, and because I knew it was the infrastructure that Staywell Institute had been waiting for. It was the piece that I was envisioning, and I thought it was going to take years. And in months, we have it. Today is the day I get to introduce to you both Jon and what we built together, the Staywell Marketplace. A curated place where supplements are vetted, the protocols are built in, and the experience is clean, and your healer is never out of the loop. Jon, welcome to Beyond the Pills. Let's go beyond, my friend.
Thank you, Josh. Glad to be here. Glad to talk to your audience. Glad to tell the story of how I went from patient to trying to solve a problem that I looked at and I'm like, this can be done better.
Well, that's how all entrepreneurs work, right? We solve problems. And when I got linked into you through a mutual acquaintance and friend, we instantly connected. But I was like literally in the middle of building our app in our marketplace, not even the marketplace. It was like a side thing for me. And my friend's like, you just talk to this guy. He's doing cool stuff. I had no idea what was going on. And we totally connected, and I loved your story. So tell us a little bit about, take me back to that physical. Like, you go in thinking it's routine. You come out completely overwhelmed, and you were a patient in the journey of health and wellness and this whole thing of supplement, because it was functional, right? You were going to a functional practitioner. I don't hear leaky gut and gluten intolerance coming from the traditional doc. So yes, we went there, but then you just got stuck in this mix that was like, where am I? Take us back a little bit. I want people to hear this story.
Yeah. So, I was an early adopter of functional medicine. Didn't even know it was called functional medicine at the time. I went and did a preventative physical with a concierge practice, and this was in the DFW area at the time. And, I did a full day with them. They did all kinds of tests, including a full body CAT scan and various other things. And you mentioned some of the things that they found, most significantly was thyroid cancer. And from there, I went on my own healing journey, as hopefully all of us are, and we continue to as we age, and we want to age gracefully. But my career had all been around, I'm a business guy that has been around software my whole life. So I've run multiple software companies. In fact, back in the 2000s, I ran a digital marketing and marketing analytics company. And the two guys that founded it, their first customer was Amazon. And when they brought me on, we had 10 employees, and they were like, Jon, what we're doing works, but we have no idea how to take it to market. Well, I'm like, great, because I know nothing about e-commerce, but I know how to run a company. I know how to take us to market. We're a good match here. So that was the journey I went on, and I learned from working very closely with Amazon what a good retailer is all about, and relationship selling online, etc. So that was kind of my professional backdrop. So as we proceed into the two teens, and I was going on my health journey, I was just flabbergasted. I'm like, okay, and here's a standard thing that even today is very prevalent. It's like, well, here's a private label supplement that they give me in clinic, but here's some specialty supplements. Let's say a Cellcore Biosciences for a detox. They're not on this site, so go to this site for them, and then here's 3 or 4 affiliate codes to go to this site, and this site. And given my background, I was like, gosh, this is relationship business. These people should be wanting to capture you as a consumer. You trust your health advisor. I knew, given my experience with Amazon, Amazon has no quality control. And actually, since I've started the company, somebody sent me a picture of a very well-known brand that we would all know, that is very well respected and has great products that work. And the bottle looked perfect. And she had poured out the pills and sent me a picture, and there were some green pills and some white pills and some brown pills. And she said, Jon, what is this? And I said, where'd you buy it? She said, I bought it at Amazon. And I said, congrats, you have a fake product. She was like, really? It looks perfect. And I'm like, yeah, producing a label is not hard.
I want to get back to that. Put a pin in there.
Okay. It's a good story.
We'll keep going.
So anyway, on starting the company, I lived in Austin at the time, and as entrepreneurs there, we brainstormed with others, and me and another guy were talking about the health and wellness space, and he actually one day was like, what do you know about supplements? And it was like a light went off in my head. And what we built today is, honestly, within 30 minutes, I was like, here's what we got to do. Because, everybody knows the 800-pound gorilla supplement distributor in the space, but they don't have all supplements. They don't have all brands, and especially with some of the things that they're required to do in their business in terms of money they need to make and margins and various things. That's a good tactical way to get somebody to buy a supplement, but there's no follow-up unless they start marketing to you as a consumer around your practitioner, which is terrible. So I started doing more due diligence on the space, and basically, my North Star, I was like, hey, I'm not a dumb guy, and I value the input of my practitioner or of stuff I read online. I still wanted somewhere to go that I could have that trust factor.
Right.
And I didn't want to chase my tail. And, every time you give somebody an affiliate code, you get on that your patient or those that you're influencing, now they're on another email list. And I've always been a relationship selling guy, not an affiliate guy. Affiliates are good for giving your customers to other companies. In fact, when they pay you an affiliate fee, they book it as a cost of customer acquisition, because their goal is to drive lifetime value from that customer as opposed to you. And so I knew all these things from working with Amazon, and I decided to create a platform that took the kind of, like you said, you knew you wanted to do this, but going and doing it is non-trivial. It's a big deal.
I'm not the tech guy. Like when you were talking to me, I was just like, I experienced all of that, right? I have my private label in my brick and mortar. And it's like, well, if I want to sell that to my clients outside of my brick and mortar, I have to build a store, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and I have to do this. And then the other thing is like, well, I don't use just my private label. I have these over here, and these over here, and these over here. And it was such a wonky experience for me because, one, you hit all the pain points of practitioners in the wellness space, right? We vet this stuff. I have a 15-year relationship with like the magnesium I've been using, right? There's things that I know work. So it's not just not all supplements are the same. Yes. And Amazon has completely admitted, the articles are out there. We can post them in our portal. They admit that half their shit is counterfeit. You can't not, right? Yeah. So even if you think it's right, and then you got the whole supplement world where 9 out of 10 don't even hold the label claims. Like all that stuff's there. You want the quality, but then you also have to get it from a place of trust. Like you said, my clients trust everything I do, but then they ask, well, where can I go get that in Amazon? I'm like, no, we need to make sure that we're getting the outcomes that we drive for, not the supplement we're selling. And so all of that was like in a one conversation, you're like, and yes, I'll say it's full script. So I was like, so I can't go there, but then do the things that I want to do in my clinic and personalize it and put up everything else. And so you're like, no, we solve for that. We solve for that. We solve for that. We solve for that. I'm like, okay, where do we start? So we literally held our community site, which is gobeyondthepills.com now. We're moving it to Staywell because it makes sense to build it into the whole ecosystem. I was like, so I can get what I've actually wanted, and I don't have to build it myself, and it's not going to cost me the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I thought it was to. And you're like, and then like in the middle, literally in a month, we're ready to roll. Like, it's like, holy crap. So thank you. But I want people to realize like, this is also like the solve for the future too, in this crazy marketplace. So sorry to interrupt you, but I had to put that in there.
Well, kind of finishing the story on down in the company, our North Star, and this is based upon my experience, I want the help of a health influencer. And, I want them to help me navigate. I want them to connect the dots between things over time, which I think is super important because we do clinical work, but, now there's so many great things for longevity, for preventative health.
Yeah.
So maybe you end up with a functional medicine practitioner because you have a mold issue, or you have Lyme disease, something like that. That functional medicine practitioners are very, very good at. But then you trust them, as you mentioned, and the NBJ did a study back in the 2000s, and 3 primary buyer values in our industry from consumers: quality, trust, and convenience. And I think the quality and trust is inherent in the relationship between a practitioner and their audience. Their audience, broadly speaking, yes, it's patients, but it's also patients when they're not doing clinical work. And then what we're seeing significantly in today's social world is clinical influencers who have the background at doing the clinical work, and then they turn around and start posting that out to social, or doing email blasts, or have a newsletter, or have a podcast. So all those different channels where we can all go and get great information, but go back to those buyer values. So you now have the quality and the trust because you trust them either through your clinical work or through reading their good content. You expect the quality, and those that do clinical work see the quality in the outcomes. So it comes down to convenience. And it's not convenient to go chase your tail on multiple sites and then have to go do it again next month, and then, give your email to 5 affiliates downstream. And so I knew that I could look at it, and my North Star on the practitioner side was I wanted to have a single storefront under their brand with products only that they have in effect tacitly approved to be on their store. I have a catalog of 10,000 products, okay? No e-commerce store should have 10,000 products, okay? But I have vetted every one of my brands. We have about 400 plus brands. I have contracts with them, okay? So I'm getting products from the high quality brands, not from some random third party. And I knew that if we had a single storefront, we could monetize patients doing clinical work. We then could also monetize, women are 70+% of the buyers in functional medicine. Most of them are moms. Obviously, they feel on the hook for the health of the family. They're going to buy for their husband. They're going to buy for their kids. They trust you. They read your blog. You write a blog on detoxifying the body with an infrared sauna. You provide a link to that. They want you to be prescriptive. They want it to be convenient. So it's not near as prescriptive or convenient if you send them to 5 different third parties. And
Right.
oh, by the way, here's a code for this one, and here's a code for that one, and sometimes it doesn't work. And I'm like,
Well, what Amazon did right is like 2 clicks, it's in your door. Like, it's just real simple to do. When you make a conscious decision, it's the convenience factor. Is the wonky part. So I love that you brought that to the awareness of people.
yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a little bit selfish because I had gone through that experience, and I was like, I can build this. And basically what we've done is we've taken away all of the operational minutia that a practitioner doesn't want to do anyway. That's not their expertise. Their expertise and honestly what they're passionate about. And our industry is full of very passionate people about healing people.
Yes.
You think they want to spend hours following up on every one of their hour-long appointments or 2-hour appointments at night, sending out different affiliate codes and links to different sites and say, well, go here to buy this and go there to buy that and this. And then, who knows if it's bought or if somebody doesn't, bail to Amazon and either buys a fake product or buys a cheaper product. I know that happens. And I'm like, I tell all my friends, I'm like, hey, just don't buy the cheapest thing on Amazon that you find. It's not going to be effective. Our brands, they are pharma-like companies that have done tests on these things. They have research sightings. There's proof that it works. Kind of like you said with your magnesium. I had a doctor one time who said, yeah, I use Zymogen fish oil and it works. I know it works because I see the before, and then they go on it for 3 months or 4 months, and guess what? It moves the markers. And he goes, I had a client one time, and the follow-up, it didn't move the markers. And he had said, well, what did you take? I took fish oil. But did you take the one that I had? No, I went out on Amazon and I found one and it was like $10 cheaper. And he was like, well, it didn't work. So we're going to start over.
I've been, we could create a whole episode, and I have, on the quality of nutritional products and why we use them for optimization and outcomes. And yeah, like that's what you're buying when you go to a clinician. You're not buying the product, you're buying the experience of using the things that get results.
And you're buying their knowledge of that.
Yes.
One of the things that practitioners hate, they're like, I hate when I do all the work and I make a protocol or product recommendation, and then people come back and they're like, yep, I bought that on Amazon. And they're like, by the way, I'm in business, and that is a part. You're buying my knowledge and my expertise, and I have typically years of experience and years of case studies of showing from point A to point B, this works. This is why I'm doing this. This is a part of you buying my service. Buy the stuff I recommend, and even if I'm going to make a little bit on it, that's a part of how I make a living. So, I had a practitioner say, yeah, the bane of my existence is when I do all of the health influencing through, diagnostic tests and analyzing those and come up with the protocols. And then they go buy from Amazon.
Like do the white paper, like it's that. But the thing is we're very used to commoditizing healthcare when it comes to a product. Look, I'm a pharmacist. I've been dealing with, you buy this, you get this for free, and then you go away, right? But people understand that from a pharmaceutical perspective. But like when you look at health and wellness, it's way less regulated. And now we've come to light a little bit, like literally, congratulations, you bought it on Amazon. It's cheap, it's probably fake, and it's probably not good for you. Like that piece is worth, so that trust factor that you talked about is super important. So that's why we literally, like, I stopped in my tracks. I'm like, I can do exactly what I want and get this into our web app and our community. Was, I always just tell people, I vet. So everything I'm putting up there, like you said, I can look through that list. I've already used these things in clinic, and it's not like, oh, I get it from this site and this site. It's like I'm building my platform. Oh, wait, I can put all my private label in there. Now I have it all in there. And now I can put my programming in there. And we can work out to where people can come to one place and be a part of the community. You talked to me about this a month or two ago. This is not an online product store. This is a lifestyle, right? We're talking about a lifestyle marketplace where you can go and be trusted.
I hope it becomes the lifestyle for more and more of us as consumers. Because when I think of my life and my lifestyle, I wake up every day and my mindset is, what exercise am I going to get? How am I going to be outside? How am I going to look at the longevity factors that I know are super important, like strength, like gut health? What am I going to eat today, after having gone to something like a Whole Foods and bought good quality ingredients? And then I live my life that day. I try to get 10,000 steps in every day. So that's the lifestyle. I go to a place called Plunge to do a cold plunge.
Yeah, I know it.
I do a dry sauna with them. I have a wet sauna at my gym. I have an infrared sauna at home. So whenever I started the company and I looked at what everybody was doing, there was various places you could go buy supplements, but really what I now call the integrative health spectrum of products. It's what we eat, what we drink, the air we're breathing at home and at work. It's how we treat our bodies, how we recover. So instead of just going after supplements, I started, listening to our clients. And today, besides several hundred supplement brands, we have a couple hundred lifestyle and biohacking products that somebody like a Dave Asprey has made so popular. So we have, infrared saunas, plunge pools, air filtration systems, home cleaning products that don't cause endocrine disruption, not only in us as humans, but your pets.
Yeah.
People don't realize every time you go get that pledge at the grocery store and you spray it around your house, or some air freshener, all of that is just terrible for us. Or candles, that burning of the candle, there's studies out there that causes cancer. And people are like, oh, let me put on candles. And what are they doing? They're breathing candle smut or whatever it is coming off that. So we started reaching out to these brands. Skincare is another one. You've probably heard that sunscreen causes cancer. Well, a buddy of mine had a company and he has one of the leading sunscreens in the world. And he's like, yeah, tons of these sunscreens, they have all kinds of bad ingredients. And what are we doing? We're putting them all over the largest organ in our whole body, which is our skin.
And products, right? Products
and so
all over.
So we put a quality filter in place and said, we're going to work with reputable companies. I have a naturopathic doctor on staff. We're like, tell us your quality story. We vet them, and we're like, I had somebody come to me and it was a, consumer brand that they had just slapped a label on. I'm like, where are you getting your product? And they're like, well, we got it from China. And I'm like, you're exactly what we don't want on our platform. And
that is the confidence that, like, I've grown in this world. I call it clean living, right? Like we buy all the things that are sort of like when you go to like Whole Foods, they have sort of a mantra on the wall, like they don't put this crap in their food. It doesn't exist in this store, right? And that's what the vibe that I want with our marketplace is like, if you're buying a beef stick or a skin product or a cleaning product, like all of it's gone through some filters that are regenerative for you as a human and your pets and all the other things, because that's the life I've lived. We have this and we have this. So I'm building my marketplace rooted around the things that I want people to not only know and vet, but they're coming to one place and have that vote of confidence.
Yeah.
They don't have to think about it. It's not the noise in their head. Look, I've spent 20 years in that world vetting it for my own family. And it's like, let's impart this wisdom so people don't have to put all that mental thought into, is this good for me? Is this good for me? Does this have the right product? Does this have the right potency? Does this have the right outcome? Like all the way down. So I'm loving just like adding more of the SKUs I like into the store. It's building. It's actually kind of fun.
Sounds to me, when you said the beef stick, Paleo Valley is.
Yeah, I sell them in there. I'm like, shit, like, oh, cool. Let's put this stuff in here.
Those grass-fed beef, grass-fed venison
grass
sticks.
finished, right?
I love their double chocolate bone broth protein bar. That thing melts in your mouth, and it's super healthy. That's the type of company that you go buy a random protein bar at the grocery store.
Oh, look at all the junk in it, right? Look at all the stuff.
I turn everything over and look at the ingredients, and my goal is to find the product that has the least ingredients. Yeah. And it doesn't have words that have a Z in it that I can't pronounce, and it doesn't have gums or carrageenan. I'm amazed at like ice cream. I love ice cream. Okay. And I don't eat a lot of sugar, but every once in a while I'm gonna eat some ice cream. Well, go look at how many ice creams have guar gum or gelum gum or xanthan gum or carrageenan, and then go search, go do an AI on those ingredients, an AI search, and it'll tell you. And it's like, those caused digestive problems in a lot of people because they expand and they're, blah, 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 blah. And so the only brand of ice cream that I eat now is Haagen-Dazs, because if you go look at Haagen-Dazs, it has 4 ingredients. So we Josh, those of us in the industry and those of us that have been very proactive at learning this, we think of all those, I don't go to the grocery store and expect I'm going to be in and out, because I'm going to go in there, I know the things that I buy, but I'm going to go in there, I'm going to look at the ingredients.
Well, we've taught our children this. Like, they know how to read an ingredient list. Like, I'm like my daughter, I'm like, if you can't pronounce it, we don't eat it.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
And then they're learning. Like, I'm so proud, because like they knew what the USDA organic symbol was at like 2 years old. They look and they're like, that's good for me. I'm like, yeah, that is good for you. That's clean. So they know a little bit. They also sass me a lot, because they're like, oh, Dad, here we go, because they're still they're 10 and 12. They still hear these things. But, I was just praising on them the other day, because some of it sticks, and it's like, we do need to read ingredient lists. Like, there's no reason for these unregulated chemicals to come into these places and these food ingredients that, like, thank God we're moving towards more of this to be like, prove that it's safe and easy and good for people, right? It's like we have to prove that it's like, instead of proving it's not safe, it's like we're proving that it's safe. It's like crazy.
Well, and kind of your marketplace and built on top of what we built, we've already done that diligence. I mean, that's the thing.
Well, that's why it's so easy for me, because it's like, okay, I'm going through the list. It's like, I already know, but I'm like, it's like that double filter for me. I was like, there's really nothing here I don't want, but I'm not going to throw 10,000 things into there either. I'm going to take the things that I've used, that I have experience with. And oh, by the way, this is fun. I have some stuff here. And it's like, the same sauna I use in my house. Like, you can go to the thing and buy it now. Like, right there. I have an affiliate with that company. It's super wonky. I don't like that stuff at all. I'm too busy. I don't want to deal with that. And it's like, oh, I can put Therasage in there. Great. Awesome. Look, here's all my gadgets. Here we go. Now Now I don't have to like bend an arm and twist a leg to be like, this is what I do. It's like, no, just here's the link. I'm going to prescribe it for you. This is what I want it. You're going to get it. And I've used the store before we opened it up to the marketplace. It's simple. It's easy. It comes straight to me fast and it's fun. Like, thank you for that, you know?
Yeah. Well, also, so you talked about an affiliate. A little word to your practitioner audience who oftentimes are taught that affiliates are good for their business, and they are good for a short-term pop in some revenue. But the thing that I try to coach people on, this is from my experience in e-commerce, when you're in a relationship business, affiliates are not good for long-term adding value to your clients, because what it does is, in effect, you're giving your customer away. And in affiliates, there is a cookie window, a duration that somebody has to purchase in, typically 30 days, but it can be, I've seen it as short as 4 hours. So the product company sets that, and you have that amount of time, 30 days. You send, let's say you do a blog post on detoxifying the body with an infrared sauna, and you provide a link to TheraSage. Well, TheraSage is going to give you some affiliate duration, and then let's say they don't buy in 30 days. Well, guess what? You've given your customer away. That customer is now in the product company's email list. They're going to go market to them, and you're never going to get paid.
And you don't see it on the back end either. And it really, you know what? When we had that conversation, it wasn't really about the paid, the not paid thing. Like it also enlightened me. I didn't know any of that, and I don't do a ton with affiliates, but it's like a perceptual way to have a good win-win relationship with the people you like to play with, right? That's what people perceive. But what you said to me was like really, really important, because for me, Staywell's the community. Beyond the Pills is the community. We want people to engage, not just listen to this content, but move and do things. You said that from the very beginning, and it struck me as very positive and very energetically aligned. You're like, I don't want your customers. They're your customers. You keep your customers. We want you to have them. To me, it's my community. It's my family. So we build this with you, but everybody stays in your ecosystem and they don't get pushed out and they don't get marketed to. Like, that's really important to me. And like for you, it was natural because you set that intention up front, not as a side effect of what you're doing. And to me, that was super quality human.
I thank you. I when I first started the company and I met with my attorney, who's the head of healthcare at DLA Piper, she asked me, John, who owns the data? And I thought it was kind of a almost rhetorical question. I'm like, well, of course, the practitioner that we've built their store and we're managing it for them, it's their data. Why would it not be? And then I started thinking about it, and our friends FullScript, if as a practitioner sends a consumer to buy, well, that becomes their customer, and they bought from FullScript. They didn't buy from you; they bought from FullScript. And so then, what does FullScript do? They're like, well, great, I got a new customer. I'm going to go market to them. I gave my right up to do that proactively from day one. I signed it as a part of my disclosures and saying, you own the customer data. And then on the supply side, I went as far, I have contracts with all my suppliers, and I put a clause in my contract with them and said, you cannot direct market to these clients. And in fact, I'm not going to give you email or phone number. I got to give you physical address so you can drop ship, that infrared sauna. But you can't direct market, and I'm not going to give you email. Because as a consumer, think about it. You want to, if you were lucky enough to have a single place to go buy all your health and wellness products, like your marketplace, then what if you bought from 10 different brands that use that off of your marketplace, and then all of a sudden you're on 10 new email lists? We all love that. I got spam from 10 new ones, so now I got to figure out how I unsubscribe from all these. I'm like, no. Because my North Star, going back to that, I want to enable practitioners to be able to create a well-articulated shopping experience for their consumers so that the consumers will come back. The last thing that I'm going to do is then give that data away to a third party so that they can usurp and go around the practitioner. That's not good business, and it's not a good customer experience. We all want consumers to be able to easily find the things that we recommend that we know are going to work. So I'm like, well, I'm going to enable this, even though it may reduce what I might be able to monetize because I can't go direct market to these consumers. But ethically, it's just not right, And I'm like, that's not the way I'm going to make my company. I want to highlight the practitioner or like your community.
It brings me back to the first and last thing I usually say with entrepreneurs, and when they want to get me is like, it's purpose over profit.
Purpose number one. Profits will follow.
Profits will follow, but profit's not a dirty word. Like the more we get people in our community, the more they do the things we need them to do to get healthy and be well and heal, we can serve more people. Like that's literally the design. And so I love that we're bringing this to light in certain ways, because I don't think the average consumer even understands the interplays of like where all the pins and the cookies and all the things we're tracking and measuring all this data. Data is important so we can use it for good, not for use it for more business and more steering the customers away and getting them in their ecosystems, because that just feels like, and it was like when we had that conversation, you were adamantly upfront with it. And that was important to me, not because you were selling me something in the safety I got from the data. It was like, no, that's just good human. Like, when you do things purposely right, I think everything should unfold for the right reasons,
Well, my early career, when I did management consulting, I learned from a very well-run, large global management consulting firm to align yourself with your clients. If you're in a relationship business, you're in it for the long term. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
100%.
And so that drives who I am professionally. And so when I ran these different companies or started this company and run this company, I was like, I want to be aligned. I'm going to win, or a practitioner is going to win. The win is when the consumer wins and we get healthy outcomes. Now we're all going to benefit. Okay. So I want to help practitioners, because I'm not a practitioner and I'm not a product expert. I've learned as a patient and learned from running this company, learned from the naturopathic doctor I have on staff. But I just want to be aligned. I want to help the practitioner be aligned with those they're influencing. And then I want to sit behind the scenes. I don't care if you know who we are. I want to enable those practitioners to be able to go to market and efficiently be able to serve more and more people to help drive better health outcomes. In the end, I'll benefit from that. Maybe not as much as I would if I was greedy or not doing some of the things that I would do because of who I am professionally and from my character. But long term, I tell practitioners the same thing. I'm like, don't focus in on the 1 or 2% margin that you think you're losing from one thing or another. Think about lifetime value. Think about if you serve somebody correctly and you help them and you do right by them, guess what? They're probably going to buy more. And you're going to make more absolute dollars because they're going to buy more, and you're going to add more value to their life because of that, as opposed to them being very transactional and be like, okay, thank you for helping me with my mold. See ya. I'm going to go down the path and buy from Amazon everything else. So
that's it. Like, it's, to me, like, money is a side effect of success. It's not the driver. Like, we're here to help people heal. There's foundational things. We live in a toxic environment. So even the food that we eat that is whole foods, it's 40, 50% less nutritious. We know all this now. So clinical nutrition is important. There's foundational things everyone's going to need for a good period of time, if not forever, because of the world we live in today. This is a very different world. So it's like, I want people to stay as long as they want to stay, but they stay because they want to. They stay because they're healthy. And I'm going to do a mini episode on this, guys. So it's going to be like a little teaser, is like the difference between looking at your health as an investment versus an expense.
Oh, good one. I like that.
Because it's pretty easy if you go to the financial advisor and you're looking at your wealth as an investment versus a line item expense in your health, right? And so for me, that's the people I want in our community. The ones that are looking at everything as an investment. They're getting a better return because they're doing it for themselves and their family and their pets. I can't wait to introduce you to more of the pet stuff, because my wife is what I do for humans, she does for animals, especially dogs. And it's like there's a whole nother universe for that, because there's an allopathic veterinary way to do it, and there's certainly a wellness way to do it. She makes her own dog food. Like we're all in. So I can't wait to just expand and grow our community, but also to help bring more of these conscious driven entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space to be putting more of this stuff into our marketplaces, allowing us to serve at the highest level and giving people the convenience, like you said, the ease of transaction, because I want my tribe to grow. I want it to get bigger. I want it to be more impactful. And this is one way that we can, like, you leveled up my community, because I had no thought about this as we were building. Oh, we can listen to the podcast. You can ask questions. You can join the community. And I was like, oh, like the whole commerce thing and the whole putting it all together in the right area in the right ways, to me, was such a heavy lift. And then what we're getting out of that now is it's just leveled up the community. So I'm very grateful for you and what you've done through your own experience, which is how I roll too. And just, I want to touch up on a couple of things before we sign off here. Is let's talk a little bit about the future, especially with like AI and building these things, because we're building it in our community, but driven from a place of, again, resonance and growth and alignment in how we want that community to be built. But I think there's also a lot of wonkiness going on with all this stuff now too. And so how are you taking this next level technologies into the future of what you're doing?
You know, being at the core, we're a software company, so obviously we've been going down the AI path, and we've already delivered a few things to help practitioners find products a lot easier through a product discovery agent. I think we all on the consumer side would agree that we're headed toward this thing called agentic commerce, and we're all going to have personal agents that are going to be very smart about us. I don't know about you, but I talk to ChatGPT about everything in my life, and ChatGPT comes back and references things from the past that I told it, and I'm like, damn, this thing knows
you know me.
I'm like, this
I feel heard.
Yeah. So, and I think more and more, I feel like we're in the mass adoption phase of health and wellness, and the younger generation already has had, you know, the 20-somethings today. When I was 20-something, I wasn't worried about my health. I was talking to a guy the other day who was like 30 years old, and he was like, I'm taking NAC. And I was like, wow, I guess you're getting ahead of things. You know, I would never,
I'm firm. I'm impressed in certain ways with where we're taking the younger generation. Like, they're so into preventative modes and proactive. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Nice.
So this concept of self-health is going to grow.
Yeah.
Where a consumer can enter into the health and wellness space in, honestly, it's going to be infinite number of ways. I personally think we're eventually going to have a personal agent, and that agent is going to know everything about us. And then we're going to navigate today, how we navigate through a website, we're going to navigate through our agent to get the things we want. And therefore, we're taking, you know, the heavy lifting that we did to build the infrastructure to be able to have 10,000 products on a single catalog that is shoppable and be able to take money and get the products fulfilled. That doesn't go away. You know, with AI, the physical part of our world still has to happen. You still got to pay for something. That order has to get to wherever the product is. The product has to be sent to you. So I look at these AI agents that are starting to proliferate as great tools for us as consumers to go in and learn more about our health than we ever have. You know, we have your smartest 100 people of all time at our fingertips built into one of these LLMs. But still, you need to be able to navigate from that question and answer session, or if you put a diagnostic test in there, to therefore, what should I buy? And I still am in firm belief that if you're looking just for some vitamins, you're like, you need some help sleeping, so you navigate to a magnesium glycinate or something like that. Great, but I still want to have a practitioner, and a part of what our North Star is to enable practitioners so that they can efficiently work with consumers and healthy product brands. That still doesn't go away. There may be a new entry point, meaning it may come in from an agent, or it may come in from a consumer's personal agent, or it may come in from an agent that comes from somebody like you on top of a community that you trust, where they can go in and start asking things about themselves. And then, even as important as learning that is getting therefore, what should I go buy to get the health outcome that I'm looking for? So I think we're going to see all kinds of agents and front end stuff and ways that we as consumers interact. But in the end, in health and wellness, it still gets down to every day, what are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you breathing? How are you supplementing when your genetics aren't as sufficient as they should be for some? A lot of people are doing DNA tests today and they come out with...
I start with it in all my patients now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, well,
that's the personalization piece. So the AI for me, and it's not just AI, it's just a tool, right? These tools for technology allows us to take all this data in. This is why we literally built our community site. It was like this, we have 130 plus episodes that now you can ask questions about your health and wellness. And if I've ever said anything about it, it brings in the answer. Not from AI, but like AI grabbed it for literally what I said. So people that come here that trust this stuff, we have great people, and now it aligns us into like it's building into a collective, because everyone else that's been on the podcast, like you and the guests, they all get that. And so now we're building this collective community and then rooting it down. Like you said, the physical stuff is never going to go away. People need to put that thing in their mouth, and they need to swallow it, and they need to get the benefit from it. So we're building this for the future so people can get the real-time benefits from it in a very convenient, very quick, and very structured, like you said, aligned way. And to me, that's the future of where we're going. It's not going to replace me. It's just going to say, like, can we model this off of what we've already done so we don't have to keep regurgitating it? And thank goodness there's 100% recall on all the things we've said for 5 years of, 5 seasons of episodes. It's like, no, that's amazing. Like, I don't have to like go back and think about it. It's like, that was referenced, that came in. I can personally answer that question. Here's the list of the things we talked about. And I love what we're building together with the marketplace. So if I do the same things over and over again with the same kind of things, we can personalize this part and give you the blueprint for this. And it just keeps getting better, and we keep iterating it till it becomes super fast and easy and accessible for people.
Yeah, that's where we're headed. I mean, it's coming fast. That's why, I felt like we were ahead of the curve when I started the company. And now it's funny because I get people like you that are very veteran in the industry, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is built. I'm like, well, I've been at this for a number of years. 8-9 years ago, people were like, you're doing what? Why? For what?
Yeah, but that is it. We're right. There's this exponential expansion going on in all different areas. And I'm just blessed I have people like you and, Chase on my team, who's like building the back end and all the things. Is like, because all I know is like what's possible, and then how can we benefit the community? That's all my job is. It's building this so people can actually get an experience and not just think about it, because this is also beyond the podcast, right? What can we do that's going beyond, that's going to give people actionable, easy things to do, that's going to make a big difference in their lives, which is why we're still in the phase of building this thing, but it's live, it's ready to go, and we're building it for the future. So every week it's getting better. Every issue, more things are in there. Can't wait to start moving the private label stuff into there because it's going to happen. And like, I just want to tell you, Jon, because you may not know this, maybe you did, but like the amount of frustration that I had with fulfillment and e-commerce as it relates to the things that I use the most of, which is my private label, my trio, which I've done white papers on in the community, and this like kit. It took me over a year and I still failed because we tried to make something very simple. It got so complex that nobody could solve it for me. And literally, I went to that place. I'm like, maybe this isn't right. Like, why am I pushing this so much? It was in a warehouse for like a year. There's nothing wrong with it. People do other things, but it was like, and then in a matter of weeks, we have all possibilities and all the challenges that I was looking for, frustration wise, like, are literally solved. So now, literally, from what we've got 1,000 kits. We're ready to roll. We're going to be in a couple weeks. We'll be distributing them to everyone that joins the community that get this thing. So it's so cool. So I'm really excited. Thank you, my friend. I can't wait to share and all the people that are coming on like the show, like the things that people are doing good in the world. It's like, go to Jon. He'll put it in everyone's store, not just mine. Exactly. Like, let's build this thing together. Together we grow, and together we heal.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. But I would also say it's an honor for me. You know, I'm kind of late in my career, and I look at this platform as a give back. I'm super fortunate to work with folks like you who have been in the industry for so long and who are really experts at helping affect people's health in a positive way. That's not my background. That's not my expertise. So it's so fun for me to see people like you who have been doing this for so long. And then for me, somewhat as an outsider, to come in and, you know, I just connected some dots and used my experience. And I'm like, I think I can do this. And so I'm at a point here where I'm like, gosh, how great is this to be a part of like what you're doing, you know, indirectly. It's just, it's heartwarming for me.
It's the harmony of the collective, right? Everyone's zone of genius is slightly different. And the more and more I do this, like, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than everything. It's just like, I do my part, and all these beautiful people that are aligned energetically and through the mission, like, we're here to deprescribe 10 million unnecessary medications, like, period. Like, that doesn't mean medications are wrong. That just means if you can heal the body, you can make medications unnecessary. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with pharma not being around because people don't need it. Like, that's the goal for me. So here we go. Let's do it one step at a time. Let's heal one person at a time, and let's do some stuff in that marketplace, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So it is gobeyondthepills.com. As soon as you sign up to our community, which is free, you get access to the community. So we did not do direct to consumer. I'm not putting anything out there that says I'm just going to click here and go. I want them in our community because I want them to get the full benefit of what we do, not just another Amazon click to buy. It's cheap over there or something. So it's free to join. Just join. Like, we're not spamming you. We don't take that stuff. You just heard it from both of us, right? We're here to help people heal. Period.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
I'm enthralled. I just love working with people like you on these projects. Thank you for allowing us to play with you and do the things that we're doing. And I look forward to expanding our marketplace and others, and just working with good people, right? That's how I roll. And I choose that now in my career as well. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. And for practitioners out there, if you want to talk about stores and catalogs and things like that, our website is gethealthy.store. Or if you want to email me personally, it's just Jon with no H, Jon at gethealthy.store.
Thank you. And you're super accessible, which is so amazing in this world, because, you know, you're a good guy. And like, I want practitioners to know we can all work together The world, health and wellness, healing there is no competition because the world is really sick and we need to help people. So thank you for what you're doing, my friend. I love this episode. Let's do this together and we'll go from there.
Sounds great. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
guys.
Good talking to y'all.
This was a good one. Until next time, stay well.